Hello, MotoGP fans. There's something new. Come on, let's read the full story. Don't go anywhere, okay?
Meta description woven into the opening narrative. Can one rider really bend fate, silence doubt, and conquer history for a 10th time? Or is this the very moment where ambition finally meets its limit? What if the question that refuses to sleep at night in the world of motorcycle racing is not about speed, not about machinery, not even about rivals, but about destiny itself? Can Marc Márquez still do it? Can he really rise once more, defy pain, memory, time, and fear, and claim a 10th world championship when so many have already written the ending of his story? Before you read further, pause for a heartbeat and ask yourself this. If you believe in comebacks, if you believe in obsession, if you believe that greatness is forged in suffering, then stay here, follow this story to the end, and if the fire inside you burns a little stronger, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because stories like this live longer when shared. The ambition of Marc Márquez has never been quiet, never polite, never content with moderation. It roars like an engine pushed beyond the red line, screaming for more even when logic begs for restraint. From the very beginning of his career, ambition was not something he learned. It was something he embodied, something that shaped his posture on the bike, his eyes behind the visor, his refusal to accept that second place could ever be enough. Now, standing on the edge of history, chasing a 10th world championship, that ambition has transformed into something deeper, darker, and far more emotional, because this is no longer just about winning races, it is about reclaiming identity. There was a time when Marc Márquez seemed untouchable, a rider who made the impossible look routine, who leaned beyond physics and laughed at danger as if it were an old friend. Championships came not as miracles but as expectations. Records fell one after another, and rivals learned to race not against him but around him, hoping only to survive the storm he brought to every circuit. In those years, the idea of a 10th world title felt less like a dream and more like an inevitability waiting patiently in the future. But fate, as it often does with legends, chose a crueler path. Injury changed everything. Pain became a constant companion, surgeries replaced celebrations, and silence replaced the roar of victory. For the first time, Marc Márquez was forced to confront something he had never truly known: limitation. Each attempt to return carried hope and doubt in equal measure. Each crash was no longer just a racing incident but a reminder of vulnerability. Fans began to whisper, then question, then openly debate whether the era of Márquez was over. Experts dissected his riding style, critics questioned his judgment, and the word past started to appear far too often next to his name. Yet ambition does not die easily, especially not the kind that built a champion from a fearless teenager into a global icon. The dream of a 10th world championship did not fade during the dark nights of recovery. It sharpened. It became a reason to endure pain, a reason to wake up and train when the body screamed for rest. Every doubt from the outside world became fuel. Every headline questioning his future carved the desire deeper into his mind. This was no longer about proving others wrong. It was about proving to himself that the fire still burned. The emotional weight of this ambition cannot be overstated. To chase a 10th title is to chase history, to stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest names the sport has ever known. It is to confront not only rivals on the track but the ghost of one's own former greatness. Marc Márquez is not racing against younger talents alone. He is racing against memories of his own perfection, against moments when winning felt effortless. That comparison is brutal, unforgiving, and relentless. Every race weekend now carries a different tension. When Márquez rolls out of the garage, eyes watch not just for lap times but for signs, clues, hints of whether the old magic still exists. A daring overtake sparks hope. A mistake reignites doubt. The emotional roller coaster is no longer limited to the rider. It extends to millions of fans who have followed his journey from meteoric rise to painful fall and now to uncertain resurrection. This shared emotion is what makes the pursuit of a 10th championship so powerful, so captivating, so impossible to ignore. What makes this ambition truly fascinating is that it is not driven by comfort or security. Marc Márquez could have chosen a quieter path, protected his legacy, avoided further risk. Instead, he chose the most dangerous option of all: to try again. To push the limits once more, knowing that failure would be loud and public, knowing that another setback could permanently close the door on his dream. This choice alone reveals the core of his character. Champions are defined not by how they win, but by how they respond when winning is no longer guaranteed. There is also a psychological war being fought beneath the helmet. Confidence must be rebuilt piece by piece. Trust in the body must be restored through repetition and risk. Fear, once dismissed without a second thought, must be acknowledged and then conquered. Each lap is both a test and a statement. Each finish line crossed is evidence that the pursuit continues, that the ambition remains alive. The rivals, meanwhile, sense both opportunity and danger. A fully reborn Marc Márquez is a threat unlike any other, because experience combined with desperation creates a uniquely dangerous competitor. Younger riders may have speed and hunger, but they do not yet carry the scars, the lessons, the emotional depth that now define Márquez's approach. He is no longer reckless, he is deliberate. He is no longer invincible, he is resilient. And resilience, forged through suffering, can be even more powerful than raw dominance. As the seasons unfold, the narrative tightens. Every podium feels heavier, every victory more emotional, every loss more painful. The 10th World Championship looms not as a guarantee but as a question mark, a challenge thrown directly at fate. Will the body hold? Will confidence fully return? Will circumstances align just enough for history to be rewritten? These questions hover over every race like a storm cloud, charged with anticipation. For Marc Márquez, the ambition to claim a 10th World Championship is no longer just a professional goal, it is a personal reckoning. It is about closing a circle that began with fearless youth and now demands mature courage. It is about showing that greatness is not erased by suffering, only reshaped by it. And for fans, for observers, for anyone who has ever believed in second chances, this pursuit becomes something deeply human. So the story continues, written not in certainty but in possibility. Each race adds a new paragraph, each decision a new twist. Whether the ending will be triumphant or tragic remains unknown, and that uncertainty is precisely what makes this journey irresistible. If you feel the tension, if you feel the emotion, if this question keeps echoing in your mind, can Marc Márquez truly claim his 10th World Championship? Then stay engaged, share your thoughts, leave your voice in the comments, and keep following the story, because history is not finished being written.